So let's look at how it works once we set our goal. I'm here right now. My goal is there. I know that there's only one way I'm not going to reach it this year, and that is if I stop moving towards it. There is nothing that can stop me reaching the goal. But I realize this is not fantasy world. It's not going to be a walk in the park. It's not just going to be working towards the goal like that. No, what it's going to be is more like an obstacle course. And there's going to be disappointments. There's going to be, you're going to take 2 steps forward and something's going to happen and you're going to find yourself all the way back. Who has recruited somebody that they thought was going to be their next lead consultant, and that person places some orders and they're talking the talk and then they disappear in a puff of smoke about 2 weeks after they join? Who's had that happen to them? Who has had a hostess so excited who said, we are going to have at least 15 people at the party, and you turn up, you've driven halfway across town, and when you get there, she's sitting there. You think, gosh, not many cars. You walk in the house, and she's sitting there on the couch with one very annoyed mother-in-law. Who's had that happen to them? That's the business. So if we realize that on planet reality that there are going to be some disappointments and there are going to be some setbacks and there are going to be times when we have to question ourselves, but we realize that that's part of the journey even before we set out, nothing's going to stop us. Except, I want you to imagine yourself here, and I want you to imagine that the goal is over there and I can get towards it. As long as I stay, my sights on it, and I keep moving, I cannot fail. But here's the problem. We're women, and we think a lot. Who would agree we think a lot? You know, I don't want to make this a talk about men and women, but have you noticed as women, we never stop thinking? We're just always thinking, even at night, you know, we're thinking, what am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to wear? And what did I do? What didn't I do? And what's the name of that person that I met at the coffee shop? And we just keep talking. I have to say, guys, because I know that Orville's the person who's writing the check, I have to say that I believe men and women have equal amounts of intelligence. I really do. It's just that women, we all have the same compartments in our brain. We leave the door to all our compartments open. Have you noticed that? And we can go in and out of one to another. Men have the same number of compartments, but they keep the doors shut between them. Have you noticed that? Have you ever said to your husband, can you feed the dog and put out the trash? And he says, which one do you want me to do? And guys, and I shouldn't say this. I know I shouldn't say this, but I can't help myself. Women, we never stop thinking because we're going in and out of those compartments. We're thinking all the time. Men can actually shut off one activity and think of another, but men have a compartment in their brain that women don't, and it's the one with absolutely nothing in it. Have you noticed that? Have you ever said to your husband, what are you thinking? And you see that panic because you know he's thinking about nothing? But I'm getting off the track, and I don't mean you, Orville. Okay, so I need to get to that goal, but here's the thing. What happens is because we are women, we like to pull into what I like to call these little emotional handicap parking bays. And the first one has a big label on it called "Not Me." Oh, I'm too young. I'm too old. I would love to be a star director. I would love to be earning $100,000 a year. But you know what? I'm probably too young. I'm too busy. I'm too involved with my kids. I've got too many commitments. And we just start playing the little not me game. And it is pulling into that little emotional handicap parking bay. Let me tell you, that's exactly what it is. We're saying to ourselves, I'm going to give myself an excuse not to succeed. I'm going to give myself a backup plan. You know, my children come first. Well, the whole point of this business is we can have it both ways. We can be the best mom in the world, and we can also be earning $100,000 a year. It's not a choice. It's both. It's the money and your life. And I would be the first one to say that no mum, after her children have grown up and left home, will ever wish she'd spent less time with them when they were small. No mum. So we have the perfect business, the perfect time to expand our business, but we've got to be very careful that we don't pull into that little bay. Or say to ourselves, you know what, I don't know if I'm smart enough. No one in my family has ever earned $100,000. No one's ever done that in my family. Can I really do it? And there's those self-doubts coming in. Who's heard of Michelangelo? Has anyone, you all have, I believe, one of the world's greatest artists. And of course, Michelangelo sculpted David. David, I'm sure that one day Sensi will go there on a trip. I'm sure of it. Florence, Italy. David is in this amazing art museum. And he is so magnificent and so huge that when you look up at him, you can't help but feel your eyes start to water. He is an incredible work of art. Well, Michelangelo was known at the time that he sculpted David for being a great artist. So when he went to the quarry, and in Italy, they literally just take the marble out of the side of the cliff. When he went to the quarry master said, we need to find you the perfect piece of marble. So they're walking around, and Michelangelo said, what about that piece over there? And he said, no, that's got some imperfections in it. Nobody wants that piece. And Michelangelo said, I'm taking it. So he took that marble and he carved David from an imperfect piece of marble. And you know what he said? He said, I saw the angel in the marble and I carved until I set him free. I saw the angel in the marble and I carved until I set him free. And that's how we have to see ourselves. None of us are perfect. But if you see yourself in work in progress and you understand that in life you can't make excuses and money at the same time, you have to decide my goals are worth working towards and I'm going to go for them no matter what happens. So you stay on the path and you don't allow yourself ever to think that there is a reserved sign on success, and you keep moving. But then what happens so often as we're working towards our goal, things happen. Right now we are in a recession and everybody's talking about how these are tough times, and they are. But you know what I've noticed? That's exactly what's happening. Everybody is talking about tough times. Everybody's conversation is, I wonder when things are going to get better. They're waiting for things to get better. If we want to be successful in life, we can't allow ourselves to think, I'm just going to wait for somebody else to fix things for me so I can get on with my life. But of course, right now, there's a little less money around. So what do? We work smarter and harder. I spend a lot of time in taxis, and I can tell you this, most of the taxi drivers that I meet tell me that they are working an extra 3 hours a day to earn the same money that they were earning before the recession. They're working harder. So here's the lesson. Most people, or while most people are talking about when are things going to get better, I want you to look at this. How am I going to make myself better? Because then it's not going to matter what happens. Who's seen Star Wars? You love Star Wars? Yoda, master of the Jedis, put it so wonderfully. He said, try not. Do or do not. There is no try. And I love that. My little six-year-old grandson repeats it. Do or do not. There is no try. Don't pull into that little emotional handicap barking bay labeled what if. What if the recession keeps going and people don't have any money? What if this? What if that? Don't allow yourself to put yourself in there. I'd like you instead to think of this. What if you had it in you to live an amazing life? What if you had it in you to every year go on an amazing destination around the world? What if you had it in you to become a star director and change the lives of women all throughout America and Canada, eh? What if that was the destiny that you were born with and you gave it up without giving it your best shot?